What going on, everybody? David Mitchell here, and my fiance available are you? Voice of Autism, episode 159. And today episode, we're going to be talking about anxiety.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's something we did talk about because a lot of autistic people, we go through a lot of anxiety. Like, how would your anxiety go when you do it?
Okay. Probably anxiety goes up when some things that didn't go well, and I just discovered that when like days ago, a couple of days, that that I have the tendency to have my anxiety up, especially things especially on the things that I'm so overwhelmed or unfamiliar with. I got tendencies to go have my anxiety up, and that is another emotional anxiety I call specifically. Second one is social anxiety. Let's say I have someone that I wish to talk, but I don't know how to do it. Did I have the strength to talk to this person? Um, I also have doubts. I ended up myself having doubts on talking to this person because this person might block me because I was simply a stranger to this person, you know? And also anxiety to perform on the public, in which y'all don't know. At one point, I almost lost focus on my graduation recital, but good thing it went well. And nobody's perfect, but at least we did our job very, very, very well, and with decency and with honesty.
Mm-hmm.
How about you?
Well, anxiety affect me when it comes to a lot of stuff like yelling going on, like people being angry, like a lot of stuff going wrong, and like stuff not happening in a good way. Like it did trust me out sometimes, but every autistic person, when it comes to anxiety, it affected differently. But like me and my fiance, anxiety affect us different.
Yeah. And of course, anxiety would also affect your mentality, would affect your thinking too, and would affect most of all your voice, your speaking voice, because of the early hormonal changes, like your mood swings going up, and your mood swings are really popping up. So that's based on my experience, y'all.
Mm-hmm. And it happened different with everybody. And sometimes some people like taking advantage of people who have anxiety. Sometimes autistic people come victim of that.
Mm-hmm.
And one thing I'll bring up about ABA therapy, when autistic kids have anxiety, we get abused so badly when it comes to ABA therapy. They ain't even freaking funny. Like some autistic have PTSD because of it, because the people who are supposed to be helping them couldn't understand their anxiety. Like literally, that another thing.
Yep. And also, anxiety happens at home because some family members would not understand what is autism.
Mm-hmm.
And they think that autism is a disease or a sickness, in which is wrong. If y'all attending one of my talk, which is in a live stream in a webinar format with my colleagues, um, y'all gonna realize and y'all gonna learn from my talk and from my other colleagues' talks about the anxiety normal. So going back to my experience, anxiety really happens from at home. It not only happened in school, it happened at home. When your family members do not understand your situation and your condition, which is specifically autism. Autism, first and foremost, is not a disease. This is a lifelong condition,
Mm-hmm.
lifelong disability that affected your social skills, and your learning skills, and it varies, right? It
Mm-hmm.
varies every people with autism.
And
Sometimes they're deficient in reading, they're dyslexic. Sometimes they're mentally um unprepared. Sometimes they're learning, their mental delay existed.
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And sometimes, where people don't get it, it's neurological, it's in the brain. And sometimes autistic people, we can be very smart because of it too. Like, we can have some very good trade-offs, but sometimes we get made fun of, bullied, even harassed and discriminated against because of it. Like, for people who don't realize, we get bullied a lot, and sometimes to ignore our anxiety would get worse sometimes, and people to take advantage of us when we ignore our anxiety. And we have found a way to calm down when we have anxiety. Like, we have fidgeting, like some take back and forth, or it calls stimming. It put to help when we are feeling a little stress and a little bit with what I've been talking about
Mm-hmm.
with anxiety. But yeah.
Sometimes anxiety could lead you to emotional breakdowns because you weren't able to achieve what you're supposed to achieve. And sometimes anxiety, literally speaking, is really, it really raises up is because people make jokes of you, and they make fun of you, and they laugh at you, like what your courses, what let's say what courses do you want to take in
Mm-hmm.
college, and you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
And anxiety, yes, it affected your way of delivering your freedom of speech, especially here in the social media world in the pandemic times, that we were doing this word of mouth because weren't able to give talks in person. So internet is the tool
Mm-hmm.
today.
And the internet give an autistic voice a very big way to let our voice out, even more than we had back almost a decade ago.
Just like what we did now, and for my occasional vlog posts, if y'all see my YouTube channel for Autism and Me, if he does talks about strong topics, just like discrimination and anxiety. Mine is more on research based and experience, and sometimes a straightforward opinions. I hope that y'all won't take it against us. We all have the right, and we're entitled to our opinions.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we say it all the time. Um, if you're feeling misunderstood about what we're saying, you may feel free to ask.
Mm-hmm.
We're not here to kick your butt. We're not here to punch you and bite you in the face.
True. But yeah, but when when I was younger, I used to have
Anxiety?
anxiety a lot. I started stuttering right there. But when I'm back in middle school and elementary school, teacher and students used to bully the crap out of me.
Mm-hmm.
And because I couldn't speak that much back then, I used to make noises. They used to make fun of me. And it was hard and rough. Like, it's something that happened to me a lot when I was younger. Like, it's very bad back at elementary and middle school. High school was a 50-50. Not that much, but it was still there. It was not prevalent as what back in middle and elementary school. So what about you back when you were in school, baby?
Well, probably it happened. I was the opposite of you. I was this not so sociable type person. I was once a nonverbal autistic. But way back in high school, I started to develop an anxiety to talk with people because I was often classmates with my fraternal twin brother. He has no autism. I have autism, so good thing it is a blessing because both twins, let's say a twin sister will have autism, the other will have autism, but good thing both of us are really opposite. And going back to my experience with anxiety, let's say if I didn't do what the group of girls want me to do, they will just backstab and talk behind my back. And I started to cry, and I was really inside, I was really a loud person. I was playful, and I was really kind of really kind of a typical, not so typical, I'm not your typical student. I was a girl with a child of heart, a child at heart. And in high school, my mental age at that time is a little bit of an elementary school. Yes, I am a high school student at that time. I experienced my anxiety for the first time, but my mind is an elementary student. So I was thinking that hopefully my parents would even check on me instead of scolding me most of the time because they didn't know that I my anxiety was undiagnosed. I don't know at this point if ever I got the chance to be checked by a psychologist in the near future. I don't know, but to me, in my personal experience, this is only my personal experience. In my high school, it's really a painful thing that I have anxiety, in which I wasn't able to talk with them. I was always isolated with no one, with nobody, and that's way back in first year. And second year, really, they really point fingers at me, which is a metaphor. They really give talks on me, like they call it an open forum, which is a metaphor, like they're gonna talk about you in front of your face, sometimes behind your back, and sometimes they would compare me to my brother. And in my third year, I mean my second year, in the middle of that second year time, I experienced this. My anxiety began to go up when I'm being scolded by my own um, one of this board of trustees in the organization. If I'm not gonna do what they want me to do, then they will not give me an invite. Of course, as a young talented singer at the age of 14, this is the only way for me to showcase my talent because I wasn't able to show my talent to the normal world at that time. And at that time, I don't know what other abilities I could have as a singer. Besides as a singer, I've realized that I develop other abilities besides while dealing with anxiety. It began to give me a scope, give me this kind of a wake up call that I have to discover other skills besides being a singer. So um, that professed me, I mean, that gave me a big wake up call to develop other interests like learning a foreign language, doing hair makeup, and which I did in high school, since high school. And going back to the anxiety experience that I did, it was really a double-edged sword because it was both challenging and at the same time very nerve-wracking to the point that I almost wanted to abandon my identity as a person with autism because people would not understand me.
Mm-hmm.
And also, in my third year, it was the worst year of my life that I don't know what's my purpose in my life as a person. I was known to be a singer when I was a kid. Since as a 7-year-old girl studying in a special school and in mainstream school until grade 6, I got this feel that what is my purpose as a person, I realized that anxiety should not eat you, but anxiety should not bother you either, because you want to grow up. Yes, at that time, in my third year high school or middle school or junior high school, we called it. Actually, in my time, there's no junior or senior high school. A side note on this. Um, I really think about going abroad, and even if I'm 14, I wasn't that strong enough to speak up. But I, in abroad, I'm thinking, and I'm 14, hopefully that I could go um, sent to an international school. Hopefully, my parents would bring me to many autism programs besides this organization that I've been attended for how many years? Until 2015. I hope I could go to. I hope my parents would listen to my inner voice besides my outer voice as a singer. I hope they would listen to my inner voice on what I really wanted to be. And I've realized that I admit that you know, that my shyness is really shining up, is shining through to dealing with anxiety. That shyness goes up also, and that didn't only um that didn't only affected my being as a singer, but being my human as a human being, as a student. In my fourth year, I tried my best to share my singing voice because Facebook wasn't that platform for talents, for videos, some of the status updates. But I find my way to find my voice. And it was in college, years by, still experiencing. I feel isolated from my blockmates, and until this third year, fast forward to that, they know that I have autism, and they see that I was anxious at one point. And it was my first gap year in 2016, 2015 to 2017, that I realized that in 2016 I came to Anka anxious with my mom.
And you were the one who inspired me to join Inca.
Actually, before I inspired to join Anka, we met at Spectrum Singles in the first place.
Yeah, that's true.
But so much for that topic. But we're going back to the topic that we're supposed to discuss, right?
Right.
So, that Anka, I came in anxious. And then at the time when I was given a chance to speak about my advocacy, actually it's before the Anka event, I was given an interview about what is my stand for autism advocacy and how did I do my God-given talent to the community. I forgot, but I'll give you a little keyword on this. To teach them and inspire them, despite I have autism, I would define autism as a sign of uniqueness, if I'm not mistaken. And of course, it that anchor motivated me to bring back my identity and be myself while living with autism, while having this autism. And my core members, my core members virtually greeted me with love and encouragement, um, and I won that award for performing arts. I think it's not because my singing, but it's because how I, not being rude here, but how I empowered them with my God given talents, and I guess this helped me decrease my anxiety.
You won the award 3 years in a row.
It's 2 years in a row, yo.
That right, and you run another award, and that
Um,
you won 3 awards from Inca.
But before Enka, I do Miss Possibilities, and that Miss Possibilities helped me improve myself to, like decreasing anxiety before Enka, and hopefully I could go back to school and go back to college just like the rest of my siblings. But it didn't happen until this 2018 second semester. I realized I could speak up for myself and for the autism community in my college. When I was being asked, "Are you empowered by your professors?" which I said yes, because your professors will turn wrong into right, to a right thing that will lead you to the right direction, and that motivated me to continue my advocacy in the autism awareness. And yes, and you're saying right now you're too early to tell me that it inspired you to join Anka.
Mm-hmm. And
And I didn't expect that, coming up from a very shy fiance of yours. Coming up from a very, I was a very shy fiance of yours, to be honest.
I know.
But my honesty is not shy enough to speak up. And your mom once told me I was outspoken. My choir member said I was so articulate, but how they will prove that I'm articulate? I mean, okay, that's their proof. I respect their opinions anyway.
Now, when I was younger, what I did was back from in elementary school. What happened to you back when kids used to use you, and when you tried to speak up, they used it against you and talked about you? It was bad for me back in elementary school. Kids used to set stuff up on me, and I used to get in trouble for what they did. Like, I got blamed for stuff that they did, and it finally stopped one day when they were caught red-handed by the janitor. They tricked me to go into a different class. I almost got in trouble for it, but that it switched around. It was last week that I in the one of the elementary school that I went to, and it started changing after that. But it was still rough, and it was hard, Jane, for me. A lot of autistic people go through shit like this.
Yeah.
It's very hard. But yeah. But we always motivate and keep on moving. Don't ever give up. Because there will be a light at the end of the tunnel. Isn't that right, baby?
And this is what I wanted to share to my mom about me dealing with anxiety and due to emotional stress. Not only to my mom, but to my family in general, and to the people who misunderstood me as a person with autism. I didn't do this not because I have doing it for personal gain, which everyone assumably thinking of that, but I did this based on my experience, based on other people's experience, and those who cannot literally speak for themselves because they're scared to speak up.
Mm-hmm. Never be scared to speak up. Like, in the end, no reason why people threaten other people because they scared. It almost be bogus, but when you speak up about someone, it finally gets to them and you finally wins. Don't let their fear rule you, because that's what they want to happen, or they can keep control. Don't ever let it happen, because fear is the poison.
And it takes us time that it takes us time to give ourselves encouragement. I know it's normal. Yes, don't rush things up when you speak up. You have to think first before speaking up about that topic, because you will never redo it. You can type it up, you can erase them, but when you're speaking it up, you can never turn it back.
Mm-hmm.
Reflect them, reflect it correct deeply, think deeply on the topic that you're discussing. Let's say what we discussed right now. Please think it deeply, speak it slowly but surely, so they will understand.
Yes. And don't always try to bully someone because you think you're better than them. Don't. It's wrong.
I guess we really have to give advice to those people who are pointing fingers at us. Oh, don't take this literally. This is a metaphor. For those who are laughing at us, that's the easiest term I could say. Laughing at us, using us, setting us up for something bad, for show. Here's what we're telling you right now. Do not ever treat people with autism like trash.
Mm-hmm.
Because one day, if y'all treating them now, years after, you'll have a karma.
They might be your president, your boss, even your in-laws, or probably your cousin-in-law.
Or divine karma.
Mm-hmm. But yeah.
I mean, let's face it. You may not experience it from someone now, maybe the next year. Expect the unexpected in your karmas, guys. If you don't like them, then don't ever do trash talks on them. Simple as that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they didn't do anything for you guys. They didn't do anything bad. Why the bashing? Why the trash talking? And why the bullying? You cannot just help yourselves to grow up, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, come on.
But yeah, we do this for motivate and to keep a light up for everybody. But yeah. Now I hope to help y'all, and I hope to motivate you guys because it could be powerful.
Yeah.
But yeah. Now tomorrow, guys, me and my fiance will be going out for our third date, but with some class member from the Autism Network, what I'm a part of, to the building hall playing Satan for the Maze. It'll be our third date, and it will be on a video blog for tomorrow night.
Uh-huh.
But yeah.
I'm so shy. Oh. Okay, I'm looking forward to meet y'all.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking forward to meet your classmates too.
I know. Now, I hope you guys enjoyed the live stream, and I hope everybody having a great weekend. And I hope everybody being safe.
Okay, guys.
And we'll talk to you guys next time. Signing out. Bye, guys.
What do you think?